Take it from my soul. Over your skin, knives to release me on my own. The words unspoken, my heart's forever broken, but I just want you to
Welcome to Not Near Mint, everybody. Considering what's going on in this country, I figured I should start with some Thanos appearances. We're joined live by the Not Near Mint crew, and we thank you all for joining us tonight. This right here that you're looking at is some of the Thanos wins run, because as it looks like the bad guys are winning, everybody. So I thank you all for tuning in to a new episode of Not Near Mint. So as I come down to these last couple issues here, we're going to go ahead and say hello to everybody. But first, good evening. Welcome to Not Near Mint. It's episode 31, Coronavirus, Panic at the LCS. This is now a worldwide lockdown of unsizable proportions. It's 10 p.m. Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. And an hour before broadcast last week, 3 life-altering things happened that are still changing the comic book community as a whole today. Last week, starting at 9 p.m., the president addressed the worldwide coronavirus pandemic and sent the stock market on the steepest dive in the history of this country, losing a third of its all-time value in the span of a week. Beloved national icons, Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, both announced that they had the virus. And the NBA announced the cancellation of the rest of its season. Since then, Emerald City Comic Con has postponed until August the 21st. MegaCon will postpone until July. Brick City Comic Con will be doing the same. Countless national and local comic conventions have either postponed or outright canceled their own shows. While comic book YouTube icon Robert the Comic Book G-Spot, or Robert the Comic Book G-Man Galvin, was assaulted, requiring a stitch in getting toilet paper. The rest of the comic book community is wondering, will we get our books in on time? Diamond has permitted shops that have received their orders to go ahead and put them out yesterday, Tuesday. So this way that shops wouldn't have to open on Wednesday. Some of these shops may have even violated city orders for non-essential businesses to operate today. Here in Miami, I visited 3 shops, and all 3 were open. Lady Fantastic and Comics on the Mind, both of their shops, their LCSs, were closed. And Miracleman was able to get his pull list today. Each of us have ran into some difficulties that were far from normal. Tonight, as after we show our new books that we were able to pull from this week, we'll discuss the coronavirus and the global pandemic lockdown and how it might affect our comic book buying, our selling, our mailing, job losses, financial insecurity, and how the falling global market might affect our comic book collections. But first, our panel. Welcome our Tennessee resident comic book scientist strategist, Lady Fantastic. Welcome, Lady Fantastic.
America.
All right.
Hand sanitizer.
And also the strong, deep background New York voice of the comic book nation, we have Miracleman.
Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Also, we have our California education specialist, and he has what we all have right now, Comics on the Mind. Welcome to Comics on the Mind.
Salut, and I hope everybody's having a great evening in these trying times. Lady Fantastic.
We all have some stories for tonight.
Yeah, hand sanitizer on the mind, apparently.
Dude, it was so funny.
Our banner. Even the Joker, he's saying, notice, get some of that hand sanitizer. Fits like a glove. There's a reason why it fits like a glove, because you shouldn't touch anything without gloves, apparently. So, going around the room, has anybody picked up comic books over the span of this week? Did you pick up your pull list? I know that Lady Fantastic and Comics on the Mind, their LCSs were closed. When was the last time you were able to get to an LCS?
So I got the text from the little app, the little key collector app, and it said that some stores were putting them out on floors today, which was yesterday, Tuesday. And so I headed to mine, and when I got there, he was literally like with his little cart and his box with all the new releases, like about to put them up. So I got a couple yesterday, but I mean, they were okay. So I only got two, and they were Batman 91, two new pickups, and Deceased the Unkillables. I did not, number 2. I liked the zombies, but not like that cheetah. Rob, Silver Surfer 100. I may have shown all of these, but
Nice.
I'm just going to show them all again because they make me happy. Picked this up yesterday. Avengers 150.
No way.
Wow.
Nice.
Just such a beauty.
I want that book one
Did you
day.
get that for a quarter?
Beauty. And then this I actually have had, but I just wanted to show the epic artwork. Thor in space is kind of a thing. So here's Captain Marvel 57, and he's going at it with Thor, and I just thought it was a really nice spread to share. Here's another one. I'm not sure if I've shown people, and I just can't remember because time passes and I'm busy and shit. But I know I've shown it to these guys. But I got a Batman 219. Yeah, Neil Adams cover.
That's
Just
a nice cover.
cool, man.
That's a nice cover.
I just love it. Yeah. And then here's just a couple more older DCs. I've got the Giant Super Family number 2. Super Team Family number 2.
Oh, those are cool, man. I love those.
Real quick, Lady Fantastic, I'm seeing here that Fuchsia Only just put in the comments that their LCS was still open after the earthquake that they had today, which I'm guessing she must be in Utah, because there was a 5.7 earthquake that happened there today.
Yeah, so The thing is today I went and looked up. I went to my LCS to see if it was open, and they had COVID-19 like notices that due to this are going to be closed. Da, 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 da. So the last of just like my recent pickups was Detective Comics 526. Just
Nice.
Love that book.
yeah, it's just a great book.
Just read it yesterday.
So yeah, that and maybe we'll show later. But I have a fat stack of Captain Americas that I've been dying to show off. But I think we need to move to other people right now.
And it also still looks like Mr. Miracleman also has a bunch of Captain Americas, but he actually went to a comic book shop today. So for somebody that didn't get to their LCS, Comics on the Mind, did you pick up any books over the last week?
Did I pick up any books? I think I kind of did pick up some books. So I'm actually currently reading one of the books that I picked up this week. This is that awesome Kanto third print. I was gonna get the trade that was coming out at the end of this month. But I saw the whole run, so I just went ahead and just grabbed it. Didn't care which print it was. I just want to read the story. I'm trying to get out of that mentality of like, oh, I need the first print, and just get the second print and be happy with the story, And these covers, this is, I was telling you guys off air, this is one of those series where it doesn't matter if you get the fifth print, the cover is still amazing,
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, and some of these are first prints. I'm pretty sure the last two I did show were the first prints, but it doesn't really matter because the story is great. So I got that, and unfortunately my LCS, is closed, and so I wasn't able to get my pull. Although they are doing deliveries. Like they're actually, if you email them and give them all your information and what books you're looking for, they're willing to actually make deliveries. So I went ahead and did that and just waiting on them to hit me back up so I can actually get my books. But I did get an A-OK.
Well, real quick, how much were they charging for delivery?
No, they're just asking that you at least have $25 or more, that you buy $20 or more, $25 or more. So if you're buying $25 or more, then you don't have to worry about it. But if not, I don't think they're going to even deliver it to you. So
$25. That's not tough at all, man. That's like $6.
I know. That's why I'm like, I have more of that in my pool, so I'm not tripping. That's why. But for people that are not, recent pool members, I mean, I would think people that are getting books on a recent pool, they wouldn't care about getting books, from the comic book shop right away, like us, who are constantly reading. So
right. Yeah, I mean, what that's designed for other than the weekly pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even had who was it? Chad. YouTube is 90. He hit me up on Instagram earlier today asking if I'd be willing to donate any of the codes so that way people could be reading these online. And I'm a little iffy on that because I know that that's not exactly a legitimate way of reading. And people should be spending the money to get these new books that creators are spending all their time to put out there so that they could feed their families or themselves. And just giving away stuff like that, it kind of hurts. But I'm understanding in this time of crisis. Yeah. Not everyone's going to have the money in the coming weeks.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from too. Like I wouldn't mind like letting someone use like my Marvel Unlimited app, a friend here or there, but you want to be able to support the the artists and the writers, especially the artists where they're not because they're not getting that much money from their work.
The artists, how about the colorists that really make money?
Yeah.
I mean, we could ask Jeffrey Postner, but we can't because he's dead. They had to raise a Kickstarter for him just to pay his medical bills, and he still died. It was cancer that killed him, but hey, that's just the industry because it just doesn't pay. And now it really doesn't pay. We already have journalists that had 25% of their entire salary cut in half, just cut, and some are just losing jobs, and that's just everywhere now that I'm hearing. But we're going to be getting to that part later on in the episode.
Yeah.
You want me to show you my current mood?
Yes, let's see your current mood. Ooh.
That's
Oh,
a nice cover.
That's how I feel inside with the corona, with the Rona.
Wait. Look.
What's up, C. Colette? Oh, Bake the Snakes in the house.
Oh, hold on.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice twinsies.
America.
Yeah.
It would take like it would take more than 30 seconds, and this isn't comic gories. Comic gories is back, everybody.
Yeah. Fastest comics in the West.
Dude, Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez. Dude, for real? This new data that I'm adding in my paper, we differentiated M1 macrophages and treated them. Shut up, you know me. Okay.
Speaking my language.
So, did you have any more Captain Americas that you wanted to show, Lady Fantastic?
Yes.
Well, let's zoom in on you.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Okay? So I showed you this as three. It's out of order, but there you go. Boom. These are all of my caps that I have from the original run, the first run. But I'm trying to get the Zach ones first, just like with the Hulk. I tried to get all of the all of the McFarlanes. Yeah. Just because they're a little more affordable. They haven't gone up super high yet, but they're treasures, American treasures. It's 284. Sorry. This is all of this is eye candy to me. 280.
I got that one.
Yeah. Moving on. I love that.
Ooh, I love that cover.
The negative space is just gorgeous.
Yes.
I got Armadillo, first appearance of the Diller.
Nice.
Oh, Diller, how you doing?
Yeah, the Diller. This is what is the guy's name? Sasquatch's inbred cousin.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making that shit up. 12. Got a nice one. I love the boots. I live for the trim on the boots.
That's
great.
That is
People had those trims on boots for the longest time.
That's Robin Hood style, bro.
you got a 328 in that pile?
Oh no.
No, you know what 328 is.
Is it even bootier?
It's the first T-Man.
No, yay, okay, yeah. All right.
That's cool. I like that one. That was cool.
Yeah, it's one of my it reminds me of actually a Wolverine cover.
I have that one. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Cap had some
Blew up recently.
Yeah, it is. It's a Kirby homage.
Oh, yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. And 338. Cap Smash. 349.
That's a great cover.
350. And then this was actually a gift from Rob Worst. 354.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Wrecking the title.
Yeah. I always like it when the title's
awesome.
being interfered with.
Yes, slicing it, destroying it.
Yeah, and 268, I think. 258, my bad. 358. Oh my god.
I've seen this cover before.
358. And then my final Captain America is 400. So I'm just trying to pick up some Zek stuff. So some of this is a little earlier and a little later, but most of it is like white fan. Anyways.
Shoot.
So I guess that we got to check in with here. So how about Miracleman? I know that you actually went to a comic book shop today and you got some books. Did you get everything? Was there some stuff that you weren't able to get? Things going a little bit different in your neck of the woods up in New York?
I was able to get in, no problem. The shop was not busy. It was about an hour after it opens. Normally there's usually 3 or 4 people in there all day Wednesday, and the whole time I was there, not a single person came in or out. So, I'm going to say first and foremost, everybody stay safe out there. We definitely have to do our best to obviously limit this, flatten the curve.
Right.
Right, flatten the curve.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, 20 years from now, somebody's going to say flatten the curve, and only people who are alive right now are going to get it. It's going to be, we're going to laugh. We're going to be, man, this whole thing, remember that? Couldn't get no toilet paper for like 3 weeks. You were using your shirt, like stuff like that. And it's going to be like Y2K or weapons of mass destruction. So only people who were alive at the time are going to have any clue the significance of these terms.
But you know that right now, Family Guy writers are writing up jokes right now on the writers
Of course.
coronavirus.
Simpsons too, all
the
that.
next year, just like Simpsons. Yeah, comics on that.
Simpsons did it.
Right. So first and foremost, be safe. Let's everybody do our part as much as not fun as it is. If you're here watching this show, you probably dig comics, so you have some to read. Dig them out and read them. But at the same time, whenever possible, get out there and support your local comic shops. They need us right now because I guarantee they're feeling the impact of what's going on right now very distinctly. They're typically, just 1-man, 2-man operations, or 1 lady, 2 lady operations. Not a lot of people there, and sometimes it's it's the type of business that supports a family. So make sure when you can, you do take care of your shops, because they usually will do their best to take care of you. Now that I'm done with my PSA, let me show you some comics.
Let's get to the books.
I'm going to show you what I read first, and this is the very first book I read from new publisher AWA and their Upshot line, The Resistance, from J. Michael Straczynski and Mike Diodato Jr. I love Diodato's artwork.
That cover is beautiful.
Sweet cover, man. This particular book may be a bit too on the nose right now.
What's it about?
A global pandemic that wiped out 400,000 people in the span of a month.
Hey!
That's the week everything gets locked down.
Right. I say, yeah. So, but the whole issue deals with this plague that pops up, and strangely enough, there's a lot of similarities in how people respond to it. Yeah, right. And it was a good book. It's a good first issue. Let's be honest, it's going to be tough not to like Straczynski. Guy knows what he's doing when it comes to making comics.
Doesn't finish them typically.
Well, that's the problem. Hopefully he has this one in the can. It's only 6 issues. Miniseries. Shouldn't be hard. Next, Undiscovered Country number 5.
Oh my goodness, it's out.
Dude,
I love this. I love this series.
Wonky series, right? Comics on the Mind. You're reading this?
Yes, I am.
Crazy, right? You're reading. Okay,
yes.
I'll tell you what, man. This is a sci-fi story that I think I understand what's going on, and as soon as I think I understand what's going on, it changes on me.
Yes, I completely understand where you're coming from. Start
off in one place at the beginning of the issue, and in a completely different place at the end of the issue, and same thing in the next one, man.
Yeah, but I'm big on like twist, and like every issue was always a twist. The end of it was always a twist. Like what?
Right. Yeah, it's good. If you've missed out on this, or if you're waiting for the trade, don't forget this book, man. This one's a killer series. Really a lot of fun. Justice League 43. Kind of wrapping up Venditti's first story arc. Hey, I'll be honest with you. If we have 3 or 4 issue story arcs from Venditti, everything nice and wrapped together, maybe give us little seeds in each one for something later, I'm totally cool with that right now. I don't need any.
Venditti was getting taken off of Justice League. Is somebody else getting put on the title?
You know what? I don't know. That's certainly a possibility. I may have missed out on that information. I mean, I enjoy his work. I'm enjoying him on Hawkman, and it's been a lot of fun of a series. But I needed this in Justice League, man. I needed a story
that long-form story.
I needed something that was a bite-sized story, man, and this was.
This is old Morrison run when it would just be 2 issues, 4 issues, maybe 6.
Right.
Oh, and I have a question from Spirit Comics. Is the entire Resistant comic in black and white?
It is not. I thought that too. I saw it. So AWA put out I imagine you saw the advanced copies, Spirit. AWA put out an advanced copy trade. I think they have like 3 of them out. My LCS gave me 1 of them. I think I have it downstairs. And it's all in black and white, but the book is not. Resistance was full color. You know, let me back up here. I'll even show you. Resistance was full color. I don't want to give away too much here, but let's find it. Oh, all right. We'll give you. I mean, you figure something weird, right? So full color, gorgeous art. Not giving away too much there, and I was wondering that myself. It was going to be black and white, but it doesn't look like that's the case. But yeah, they put out this trade that collected their first few books there, and you know, as advanced copies. I got to see one too, but yeah, no, all in color. Next, Deceased Unkillables #2 with that awesome Catwoman cover. Catwoman, Cheetah cover. What am I, some kind of amateur?
You jerk.
But you know, Zombie Cheetah, dude, that's pretty cool.
It's killer.
It was a cool story too. I like this issue.
I got it too.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, you finally got Jenica.
Yeah, I meant to grab it. I was sitting in my bin because I think it was a big week. This was a big week too. But I enjoyed reading that. It was a good first issue. Man, New Mutants. So the cover is funky, but it makes sense with the story. You know, I don't know if I'm going to keep up with New Mutants. It might be it might be time to give it the axe. Not that I have
a Hickman title too, right?
What's that?
This is a Hickman title too, right?
So every other issue is a Hickman title, I think. Ed Brisson, I think, is doing the rest. The other issue, he did this one. Not that it's bad. It's just sorry. The story just jumps around, I think, a little bit too much. Honestly, the New Mutants in Space was really dry. I didn't like it as much as, and that was the Hickman story. I didn't care for it as much. This one here has promise, but you know, my field's a little crowded. And here's one of the reasons why: the new Star Wars. Whew, this is good Star Wars, man.
I gotta catch up.
If you like old,
issue 2.
What's
I'm
that?
reading 2 right now.
Oh, 2?
I know, for Comics on the Mind, I know he got a second print, so I have a first print of issue 2 over here.
Oh, yeah.
So I just need to get that up.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is great. You know, it's right in between. It's right after Empire, arguably the finest film in the entire franchise. And I said that really quick. And
we all agree we're not going to get any resistance from us.
But you know, it's I'm really kind of digging seeing how they develop the relationship between Lando and the rest of the Rebel band there. You know, when you got the Jedi, it just jumped to, oh well, Lando is such a trusted member that he's going to become a key part in our survival here. That's a lot of trust to build up from the end of Empire to Jedi. And this really kind of gives you the idea of how all that happened. Hey, anybody chasing down Hella Risen #4?
No,
Anybody? Anybody? Anybody see crowds of people trying to get it off the shelf?
No, but I'm probably gonna read it.
It's the end of the story. It was it tied it up, and it sets us up real nicely for the Dark Knight Metal sequel.
We have another question from Spirit Comics, and I think I can answer this. Does anyone know if Fallen Angels was limited to only 6 issues? I'm pretty sure it was, because I have not seen any solicitations for issue 7.
Same.
Yeah, 6 was the last one.
Same. Haven't read it yet. First issue of the new Spider-Woman variant cover, because that's the new costume there. I like her OG costume, but this is a nice update. This is a nice update.
Very Miles Morales like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is exactly, it's like a female analog to Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Right. It has a very Ultimates feel to it.
Well, there was the variant cover that came out today that looked like the Spider-Girl series from DeFalco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of cool covers there. I had to grab that one. I just love that costume. Batman 91, still continuing on the story, revealing the new villain of the series. This one, not that I don't like it. I hate making that. It just doesn't. It feels like it's being drug on. Like you could have pulled this trigger already, and you're dragging it on. Why are you dragging this story on?
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it feels like. If they're trying to build suspense, it doesn't feel like they're building suspense. It feels like they're just dragging. The last issue I loved, that little vignette between Catwoman and Batman, discussing this big secret that she had, and I thought it was really well done. This issue is just like, oh my god, you should like that. It should have been the first 2 pages should have been the whole issue, and then you should have given me more. But speaking of, I got this cool little litho for Spider-Man.
Oh shit, brother!
And all I gotta say
that's
is, whoever made that really had fun drawing them boobies.
Babies. They're very symmetrical, I must say.
Right? I mean, let's be honest, comic book boobs are a big part of the industry, and this person just loved doing it. And then there's a Disney stamp right at the bottom. Baby,
I would say how much 8% of the industry is based on boobage.
8?
8, and then like another based on like chainmail.
Are you sure it's not like 88?
Could be.
Sounds about right.
Maybe I'm underestimating. I just
Words of honest trail boobs.
The boobs. So next up we have, moving on from boobs, we have Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man from Ahoy. I'm really bummed out because one of the cons that got canceled was one that Jamal Eagle and Tom Payer and Hart Seeley, the publisher, were all going to be at. And I usually make the trek out to that one because it's an inexpensive con. There's great comic deals. Meet a ton of creators, and it's usually really cheap. I think this year was the most expensive. I think it was $10 to get in. And in previous years, it was like $3. So, but there was a lot of talent that was supposed to show up. Unfortunately, it got canceled. Listen, if you like superhero stuff and you have not read Wrong Earth or Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. Get these books. Wrong Earth is available in trade. Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man, I think this might be the last issue. I haven't got to read it yet. This is super awesome, fun superhero stuff, man. You have it's an alternate dimension book. You have Goody Two Shoes. Basically, this is Batman 66, and then you got Dark, Grim, and Gritty. This is essentially the Frank Miller Batman. And in Wrong Earth, they swap Earths.
Oh wow!
Right. So you got crazed like I kill the villains Batman in the Pow Bam Biff world. So it was a really fun series. And Krause is doing interiors on this. Eagle is still doing the covers. But Peter G. Krause, I mean, I'll even flip it open to show it to you. You know, he knows how to draw superheroes. I'll tell you what. So good art, good story, great publisher. Aftershock's new Artemis and the Assassin. You know, I asked my LCS to get me this just because it looked really interesting, the premise. I looked at the interiors. I'm not real impressed. I'm not going to lie. But I'll give it a shot. Flash 751. Still reading on with the Flash stuff. Hawkman 22. Finally, the infection is over, man. I couldn't take any more of that. Oh, my God. It just had to end.
That character that's been in there since like day one, and people are just done with it. It's kind of like kindred and amazing.
Yes. Well, you know, Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen here with this last issue. I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say a lot of the stuff that's been irritating me about this is going to end, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Now, this didn't come out today, but I got it this week. So that's it for my new stuff. But I got this week. Fables, for anybody who hasn't read it, fantastic series done by Bill Willingham. Mark Buckingham was the primary artist. Steve Loha worked on it as well. Takes every one of your fables, everything from the Wizard of Oz characters to Pinocchio to the 1001 Arabian stories. All manner of folklore and fable, imaginary creatures, all pushed into one real world setting story, where they escape their magical lands into our world. And it ran 149 issues. And then 5 months after the 149th issue came out, they came out with the 150th, which is a trade. It's actually listed as trade paperback number 22.
Really?
Yes. I did not realize this for the longest time.
Huh.
This is actually the last issue of Fables. This wraps up every single thing from throughout the Fables storylines. And because I was missing it, I also got myself a Fables number 100.
Which also looks pretty damn big to me.
Yes, it's also square bound. And unfortunately, it got damaged in the shipping. The guy stuck it in just a flat mailer and stuffed it in the mail just like this, man.
Oh, God.
That's
Didn't know any better.
But here's the thing. One of the reasons this is so extra thick is because they stuck in a bunch of oddball stuff. In the back is a game board that you can cut out and game pieces, and you can play. It gives you the rules to play a game set in the Fables universe.
Let's play a game.
Yeah. Needless to say, I shan't be cutting it. However, I may be copying it. And then just because our girl lady had so many of those cool caps out, I just wanted to show one or two real fast of the ones I put together recently.
Yeah.
So there we got the Steve, the first time he's in the captain outfit there, which is just an awesome freaking cover. And then, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
What's the issue?
What's that?
Will you tell me the issue number?
Oh, 337.
Good.
That's homage to like 100, right?
Yep. But I had a bunch more caps, but I didn't want to take up any more time. I just wanted to show two more things real quick. One was something we were talking about earlier today, and I know Rob knows the answer to this question. Rob, who's the fastest person in both the DC and Marvel universe, according to Marvel?
Buried Alien.
Also known as Barry Allen.
Buried Allen.
Ta-da.
What? What do you mean? So, Quasar. Everybody knows Quasar.
Yeah, he's like the most popular one ever.
Quasar number 17, there is a race amongst the fastest. So here's what I've heard about Quasar. Apparently, Quasar had really low sales. And about 9 or 10 issues in, they said, hey, guys, we're going to cancel this book. So the creative team looked at each other and said, let's get weird with it. Let's get weird with it. And they did. So here you have all the fastest characters in the universe. My man from the Squadron Supreme, the Wizard right over here. You had Speed Demon, Captain Marvel, Quicksilver. And during this madcap race across the universe, somebody comes stumbling in. And here we see the introduction of who is not named, but called Buried Alien.
Wow.
Who then joins the race and ends up defeating every single speedster in the Marvel Universe to be crowned the fastest.
How did they get away with that?
Easily, because it was Quasar.
There you go.
Because no one bought it. That's why.
Not a ton of people. Not a ton of people reading it. But you know, last one I'm going to show here is right along that vein. Quasar is real well known for that, right? You know, and Quasar's got. I mean, dude, they got a lot of cool stuff.
Well, he played a pretty big role in the Infinity Gauntlet stuff.
He did. He did throughout the entire Infinity era.
Yes.
You know, Quasar
was kind of a big deal.
Right, and you know, Quasar I dig because he does a lot. There's a lot of Squadron Supreme in there. I'm a huge Squadron Supreme fan. That's a Squadron in the background there. It's got some killer covers from Mignola, whatever. But it's just fun. The whole series is fun. You know, they did that with the Buried Alien with the Flash, obviously the Flash character, and you go, well, how can they get away with that? And you know, they can get away with it because nobody was paying attention, just like Rob said. You know, but
it's not Amazing Spider-Man. It wasn't Detective Comics. It was Quasar.
Right. But now here's the thing: they did it even more overtly in this time period, because right here, here's Marvel Comics Presents number 50. Right? Eric Larson cover. And in Larson's story right here you see good old Wolverine talking to Billy Batson and Mary Batson.
What?
And Mary Marvel.
Yes, indeed.
Wow. No way.
Now, he calls him Mr. Beck, and that's in quotations. Okay. And he calls him, he says, time for me to move on, Captain. So they kind of play with it a little bit here. But in the background, and now I don't think you're going to be able to see this. And I confirmed this with Mr. Eric Larson himself via the Twitters. But right here, that's the Paul Kupperberg Doom Patrol in the back.
Oh my goodness! Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
He was doing Doom Patrol for a while too, right?
He was. Yep. Yeah. Leading up to the Grant Morrison era, the beginning of Grant Morrison era, Paul Kupperberg had Eric Larson on the team, and from what I understand, Larson and Kupperberg just they didn't mesh real well, but he hid them in the background, and when I asked him about it, he goes, "Oh yeah, I definitely did that." He goes, "I did that all the time." He goes, "All my books have somebody hidden in the background."
I love that. It's like, where's Waldo in comic books?
Right. So there you go. That was it. That's I just wanted to show. I've got a bunch of those. I might dig a bunch of them out next time and give you all a little show of characters hidden in other companies' books.
That would be awesome. I would love that cover.
There we have a really Lady Fantastic with gorgeous Secret War Dr. Doom cover.
Gorgeous.
Issue 10. And Kitty.
And a kitty tail.
Yes, Kitty.
So I'm wondering, should I go ahead and do it?
Do it.
What's in the briefcase, everybody?
Let's do it.
It's that time again. Because this was another New Comic Wednesday, or, as I'm starting to wonder, is this the last new Comic Wednesday, at least for a little bit of a while? I don't know. How about we see what we got in the briefcase today? So we'll jump on over to our other camera so I can put it all under the microscope. Now, I did have somebody in the chat earlier. They were asking, so what's up with this whole Nightwing thing? So Nightwing issue 70 came out today, and people are now trying to sell it online for, $15, $25. There's been a few sales, but overall, there is really no reason whatsoever to be paying that kind of money for that. I did get a chance to read this, and all that really happens in this issue is Joker's in the background. You see him popping up every now and then at the very end, he's just saying, hey, I'm back. And you know who else was in? Well, he wasn't in the only title this week, yet they're trying to pan this off as the very start of Joker's War. Thing is that yes, he's in Joker's War, but Joker's also in this issue too. So if he's also in this issue, why is issue 70 of Nightwing picking up? They're considering it the first issue in a line of all of the three Batmans, or the three Jokers rather, in Joker's War. So it's part one, but it reminds me of a couple years ago when they were doing Year of the Villain, or not even, I'm mixing everything up. When they were doing Villains United, and they brought out a random issue of Manhunter, and that blew up. That's pretty much this. This will be about back to $3.99 in a couple weeks. But it's a cool looking cover, so that is all that is really going on in issue 70 of Nightwing. Use your money would be better spent elsewhere. Now, in issue 91 of Batman, this definitely furthers the storyline and what's going on with the designer. Who the designer I'm seeing is being a much better character, much more well-rounded than Punchline is so far. Designer is very interesting, and this issue hits home. It was a pretty good issue. Definitely pick it up. I didn't get a chance to read DC's Unkillables issue 2, but it has that Full Metal Jacket cover. Then there's Justice League 43, the variant cover. I haven't been reading that as much as Miracleman has, but we'll get around to it. Issue 5 of 6 of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Teen Titans issue 40. Captain America number 20. Captain Marvel issue 150 or 16. I just read this. This was the end of the storyline that shows, Carol Danvers had to kidnap the entirety of the Avengers and bring in clones to go against Vox Supreme that was used in Death of the Inhumans. So it was a good, solid ending, and next issue should be a one and done, and issue 18 will start a new storyline. Next up is Fantastic Four number 20 that came out this week, along with the return of Venom on Gwen Stacy, and Ghost Spider 8. Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, some more Al Ewing. It has been picking up since issue 1. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it got better in issue 2. Let's see if 3 is even better than that. Outlawed number 1, the variant cover where nobody that is a young teenage superhero should be out and doing superheroing. Runaways number 31, the conclusion of the J Squad. Spider-Woman, the regular cover. There was no secret variant at my shop. They did not order many of these. And we're going to move on over to Valkyrie number 8, and Excalibur, and X-Force. I think I read the New Mutants last week, but honest to God, I can't remember it. Now, here's something that I did just hear about in the last day. Anything that is an independent book, Image, Dark Horse, all these titles this week are returnable. This is something that Donnie Cates on his Twitter feed has been asking the big two, Marvel and DC, to do to help lighten the load up on a lot of the local comic book stores out there. Because if people are calling into their local shops to say, hey, I'm not going to come in this week or next week or the next month or until this whole pandemic is situated. So until then, a lot of books that might have a low print run, like a lot of the Image books, if they only have a print run of 7, 8, 9,000, and a bunch of people aren't picking up their pull list, something that might have a print run of maybe 5, 6, 7,000 might drop to about 3. So books that are independents that are coming out this week, I'm not saying to hoard them, but I'm not saying don't. Middle West number 16, and it was only after I finally got CLZ, the cataloging tool for comics, that I realized I'm missing issues 13, 14, and 15. Just goes to show I'm reading way too many books, and I should definitely be cutting my pull list back, especially considering I have a job that I am only paid per job, and if I'm not getting jobs, I am effectively unemployed. Red Border issue number 1. This is that new AWA Upshot. This is the one where the editor-in-chief is Alex Alonso. He was the editor-in-chief before of Marvel. So hopefully this new upstart publishing has some good stuff. Red Border seems to be something that I will enjoy, but these are all miniseries. Next up, Spawn issue 306. I imagine that Gunslinger Spawn is back, so I'm looking forward to reading that. And lastly, I have X-Ray Robot number 1 by Michael and Laura Allred, the husband and wife team that are very well known for doing the X-Statics for the X-Men run. So I'm looking forward to reading that because it's very Umbrella Academy-ish looking, so we'll find out later on. So until then, how about we go ahead and rejoin the rest of the team, because we all have some questions that we don't have answers to. We need to open this up to the rest of the community. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and drop that link into the StreamYard, and I will go ahead and post it. So this way, if anybody wants to share their experiences around the country, around the world, if you had the opportunity today to go to your LCS, or even yesterday, being that Diamond allowed for shops to go ahead, put their pull lists out there for people to pick up, what was your experience like? We're going to go around the room right now, join everybody back up, and just ask around, hey, how was your experience like this past week? Today, when you picked up your pull list, how about we started off with Lady Fantastic? What was it like for you this last week, today even, when you went to go to your LCS?
So again, like I said, I got the text yesterday, and I went yesterday, and they put out stuff yesterday, but still out of like pure curiosity, I went by today to see if they were there or if they were open, and they were not. And they had little pinups for the COVID ID, whatever. COVID ID, whatever, a COVID-19 shit. I don't know, I'm tired. But
it's almost 11 at night.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, in terms of comics, in Nashville, there is not a mandatory curfew or anything like that yet, but there's definitely in Davidson County, where I'm at, there's 58 cases, and it's not that more people are getting it. It's just that more testing's becoming available, so the people that had it already had it, okay? And that's why we grossly underestimate these things sometimes. And that's why we should have had kids weeks ago, but that's just a different story. But, that's...
At the exact same time that it happened here in America, South Korea got the exact same thing going on. It's like the Spanish flu of 1918 started on March the 11th in the United States, in Kansas. They called it the Spanish flu because it was Spain that finally said, hey, we're going to wake up the rest of the world and tell everybody this is what's going on. Otherwise, it should have been called the Kansas flu.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should have been having testing. It's out there. It's happening. We're not finding out about it because there was no testing. That's finally happening this week. Many things are changing this week.
Like, I mean, like, Italy's like the canary in the coal mine, and they're like, dude, this shit, you know, but it's also about, I know, as lame as it sounds, the flattening the curve thing. The reason why Italy is so bad is because they do not have the healthcare infrastructure to take the wave of patients in that were all hit at the same time. And so by imposing self-isolation or mandatory isolation, you prevent the probability of people interacting and getting the virus and spreading it. And by doing that, even though the same amount of people will get sick, it will be over a longer period of time, thus not overwhelming the healthcare system. Because right now, doctors who can save lives for people that are totally like savable are having to make choices of whether the key, like they should never ever have to make because they don't have the supplies. And that's just not acceptable. Anyways.
Yeah. In Italy today, they already reported, NBC News, that right now in the United States, in Miami, it is currently 10:55 p.m. In Italy, it is now tomorrow, the 19th. So today, for us, in Italy, 475 plus people died today alone. This is a pretty good microcosm of what it's going to look like in America. But just imagine Italy being every state in the nation. We had a senator here in Florida, Jose Diaz-Balart, that was confirmed as one of those people that has it. There was another senator that came out today as also having it. There was reports that, hey, you know, people might get it. And even if 3.4% of the nation dies from it, it's okay. Until you do the math and you realize 3.4% of the nation is 11 million people, which is more than 10 times any of the wars of the United States has. Yeah. And it's pretty daunting. And looking now at the amount of people losing jobs, whether it's the service industry, movie theaters, people that set up for concerts, your AV people, they don't have any further gigs coming. If you are on the gig economy doing Uber and Lyft, you're not getting jobs anymore. And even the possibility of people losing their jobs are now going to be Uber and Lyft drivers. So now you have the
TSA, they said, yeah, we're not going to give these workers health care, even though they're at the airports and they have to search all these mother effers. Like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I'm shutting up.
So, Kirk, what was it like over in your side of the country, over in California?
We're on the west. Well, we're actually on lockdown, or they're calling it shelter. So we're sheltered up. Yeah. And so my LCS actually closed. I think they closed their doors Monday. So I didn't even have a chance to go over there and check them out before they actually close. And I heard a lot of stores were doing the whole putting them out early on Tuesday, but my LCS didn't do that. But they're delivering though. So if you email them what you're looking for, they're going out and doing deliveries, which is pretty cool. But I was lucky to get those Cantos issues 1 through 6 from an LCS up the street from where I stay at right now beforehand, because I was just like in the neighborhood. But I was lucky on that. So, but yeah, I'm not able to get my books. I can. It's once I get them delivered, I'll have them. But it's not. I don't have a relative connection to the LCS anymore because they're closed now.
Did you get a chance to talk to them beforehand to find out, are they getting books in? And once they get it in, if they do get it, will they distribute it, or are they canceling everything? I mean, what's going on?
I haven't. That's a good question, really great question. I definitely am going to ask, but I didn't get a chance to really ask, because he was busy on the phone. Because I called earlier today to check in and see what's up. But yeah, they were busy, like actually just getting stuff out. So, but I'm definitely gonna ask next time I get a chance to talk to them.
And Miracleman, what about you up in New York, in and around the state? I know that you guys have had quite an outbreak around there, just like we have down here in South Florida. So what was it like for you up there?
Well, I got to tell you guys, this is New York. So on a good day, you could run into a satanic ritual and a car on fire, all just right on the same block. I'll say this, it's we haven't hit real pandemonium yet. There's no mass hysteria. I mean, there's some minor hysteria. There'll be some mass hysteria if I can't wipe my butt next week. But right now, there's no mass hysteria that I'm seeing other than the massive stockpiling of toilet paper and water. No dogs and cats living together or anything like that. Now, I do believe there are some shops that are looking at some a scary sense of circumstances coming up here, and one of the things you find is a lot of times you have a lot of stores that are just barely making it. They're just on the bubble. They're just barely keeping the bills paid. And, a bad week, a bad month, a bad week probably won't kill them, but a bad month, a bad 6 weeks, that could put some of these shops, under, which is why I began my comic showing today with that lovely PSA. There's just not a lot of there's just not a lot of backup in the industry. This is part of the problem with the entire industry. We've talked about this before in the past, where your local comic shop is really, I mean, the operators of those stores are the people with the greatest faith in comics in the entire world. Diamond, they'd sooner step on their face as reach them a helping hand. The big two, they've got to update their model in order to support these stores a little bit better if they're going to continue with the direct market. I mean, the direct market is entirely publisher created market of comics, and it's a completely publisher created way of getting your comics. Maybe they decided they don't want to support that anymore, which would be a shame. I would be shattered, but I doubt that would happen. So if they want to, they got to update that model, and it's for things like this. People don't want to do anything about it. Companies don't want to do anything about these things when everything's going along fine. Doesn't matter how many times you raise the alarm. As long as they can get away with continuing to do that, they're going to continue to do whatever that is, particularly if it is best for them. I don't want to get off on a crazy time Dennis Miller 90s rant here.
Dime words.
I don't have the hair for it. Really, we need systemic change in the entire market of how they produce, distribute, and sell to the marketplace. The publishers need to put more emphasis on supporting the LCSs and a heck of a lot less focus on supporting Diamond.
Diamond get broken up. They're a monopoly.
They are, but the problem is when they were broken up, it was a bloody nightmare for the stores. So, I agree with you, but you need 2 diamonds is what you need, or 3 diamonds. And it's just not, it's not feasible.
Otherwise, you're just ordering piecemeal. You're getting Marvel from here, you're getting DC here, but you're getting there and Dark Horse here and Aftershock there. It's just too many companies. So at least they have one place, but that one place treats every single shop like, so you're having a problem, huh? Okay, customer number
079-23.
Right.
We don't care about you. It's just, okay, well, next caller. I'm just taking the call. I'm not the company. I just work here and I hate it just as much as you do. Right. That's the person you're calling Diamond.
Right. And here's the thing: we've all dealt with the cable company one time or another. We all who if you love the cable company, number one, never talk to me again, and number two, number two, you must be a masochist because we all hate the cable company because they know they got you. I mean, South Park did episodes of it.
Why do people steal cable?
Right, man. You know, and here's the thing. We all hate the cable company, and we still kind of have options. Yeah, satellite's not the best. Yeah, streaming doesn't give you everything. But guess what? You have some kind of options. You don't even have the satellite version of Diamond. It's not like, well, this one's not as good, but at least it's something else. You don't have that. So our comic shop owners are dealing with the world's worst cable company every single week or month or whatever.
A great analogy, by the way.
Really, yeah. Exactly.
Even the chat room's agreeing, which let me at least address the chat room. Thank you, everybody, that stayed with us this long. We're now an hour and 5 minutes in. I'd like to thank Chris Barrett, Ricky Ricardo, Rodriguez Facas for showing up. We have Lady Fantastic Comics on the Mind and Miracleman all in the chat, along with myself. We also have the Mastodon, L. Carter. We also have, who else do we have here? I know Spirit and Comics was here, Steven Spock. We still have YouTube is 90. We have also anybody else that I'm missing? Dollar Bin Fodder. Thank you all for showing up. And I know that the first person that was in the chat was Spirit Comics talking about this. And, oh, man, the thing that's really hitting the most when I'm watching all of these people saying, hey, I just bought this book today. This just came in the mail. I'm wondering, did you order that before or after Wednesday at about 9, 10 o'clock at night? Because I'm seeing people posting books that are some pretty pricey books that I know that a Fantastic Four 48 and an 8.5, someone just spent a lot of money on that. But in the next maybe month or two, you're going to have people that I'm hearing that, yes, the president has signed into a law that at least 2 payments will be going out in the span of $1,000 each per month for all Americans. And I know that Speaker of the House Pelosi wants to put some restrictions on that. Maybe now's not a good time to do that. But I'm sure we don't want millionaires getting $1,000 checks. Maybe they'll donate it. Maybe they won't. That's not up to us. But $1,000 for a month, unless you're very low middle class, $1,000 for a month isn't going to pay any bills. It's not going to cover housing, not going to cover your car, not going to cover your phone, your food, electricity, water, garbage, whatever have you. So within about a month, 2 months, 3 months, all these people that still can't get jobs because they're still afraid of the coronavirus, they are going to have to start selling some of these books for prices that they are not comfortable with, because it's going to be, do I want to eat or do I want to have that Hulk 181? Do I want to have my kids over here go back to school and have funds? Do I want to make sure that my wife can get to work with gas? I need payments going out, and I don't have any way to cover it. Oh yeah, all my comics.
Yeah, it's a kind of depressing thing to think of, but in the next 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 months is more than likely going to be a buyer's market in the aftermarket for comics.
A buyer's market. I have right now Chris Barrett asking, do I have work today? Normally, you'll see me in a suit. If I'm not wearing a suit, it means I didn't work that day. I have been trying to make it so that Wednesdays I take the day off, or I just work in the mornings. Monday, I'm a court reporter for those people tuning in for the first time, which means I get sent to the courthouse or I get sent to depositions anywhere around the city in Miami, Broward, even as far down as Key West. Monday, I was sent to a hearing at 10 o'clock. It canceled at 8:15 in the morning before I got there. It means I don't get paid. It has to cancel within an hour beforehand or else I don't get paid. So then I'm told, hey, I have another hearing at 2:30. I go in and check in with the judicial assistant. everything's been canceled. I'm told by my boss, just hang out. As long as they don't cancel, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to hang around all these hours for $45. So I went home. Today, everything canceled with the exception of a 5 o'clock, yesterday, with the exception of a 5 o'clock doctor deposition that went 2 hours. So I think for the next several weeks, yesterday was the last day that I will be working. So for all intents and purposes, I am unemployed, like millions of other people in America. Only the worst thing is that I'm not the only one. There's others that don't have other people that can carry them. My roommate, she works for the school systems. She has to work from at least 8 in the morning till 1 in the day, or 8 in the morning till 11, or 1 until 4. That's going to be a lot of teachers throughout Florida. So at least they're still employed. But everybody else, hey, we have to fend for ourselves now. So yeah, it's going to be everybody for themselves. Don't pay high dollar for books. And really, with all these auctions that we're seeing, I don't want to tell people, don't buy comics, don't support the industry. I don't want to have to say that. But like Comic Tom 101 always says, geek responsibly. And if your bank account only has a couple $100 left and you have one check left coming to you, maybe you shouldn't buy that first appearance of Ronan the Accuser today. I didn't. I had the opportunity. Did I have the money in the bank? Yes. Am I going to have it in there next week? I don't know. So did I buy it? No.
Yeah. See, I'm myself. I'm really lucky. I can work from home, and my business provides. I don't want to say critical, but pretty darn close to critical for national security support. So we're pretty much going to have to work right up to and possibly through a nuclear holocaust, just because we need to. But I can work from home. I've been home all week and just logged in for 9 hours a day doing my work online and over the phone. And honestly, this is the first time in my life I've had that type of job. Before this, I've been working at this place for the last few years now. But before this, I had a job that, if we took a downturn, I would have been missing hours myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I imagine science needs to continue, right, lady?
What? So here's the thing about science. Right now I'm working on a publication. So like I can this is my work computer. And so I brought it home and we're like finishing up a paper to submit. But like after that, like you got to do experiments to do science. And right now my, the university that I work for is a university and a hospital. And they have it basically on lockdown. They say no more new experiments. And so we've got to keep it remote. And that can only be tenable for so long. Like, It's going to get weird. After a couple of weeks, it's going to start getting really weird. Yeah.
Has anybody
seen? We're long past weird, and now we're going into uncharted territory. Because if everyone has to stay inside their homes, yeah, people are going to want to spend money. But if Amazon has to shut down themselves because, yeah, they have plenty of drivers, they're planning on Amazon more.
Amazon is booming. They are making so much money off this shit.
Why?
Did anybody see that WAPO article? They said that there's the warehouse workers are sounding the alarm that they're not taking this seriously. They're not encouraging, with their I think there's some subtext.
It's unclean. Their facilities.
They are ran so hard they don't have time. They're saying to wash their hands after they take a bathroom break.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
People are taking bathroom breaks on the line.
No, I know. Like I've heard how terrible. I'm just stating the facts, and the facts are that like Amazon's making a shit ton of money, even though they're a fucking evil entity that treats people like commodities. What can I do about it? They're still making money.
Yeah,
asshole.
Well, Amazon is just the internet version of what Walmart was in the 90s.
It seems like what
I was thinking the same thing, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
Great minds think
Yeah.
alike.
I mean,
it's the Walmart of the internet.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would eBay be?
Flea market?
Yeah, or a mom and pop.
Or a thrift store, maybe.
It's
A
the
thrift
pawn
store.
shop of the world. Anything you want.
Yeah, pawn shop of the world run by a douche. Man, one time I got into an argument. I'm not even going to tell this story, but I'm going to tell this story real quick. One time I got into an argument. I sold something on eBay.
Yeah.
And I got one bad feedback. Like, I didn't sell anything for a whole year, and I got one bad feedback. It was like some 12-year-old kid. It got there the day after eBay said it would ship. It would be there. And so they put me on this thing where they weren't going to give me my money until after the person got their item, and it had to be shipped through PayPal, and they had to verify. But here's the thing: literally every single time I would pay the label, they would take the money for the label out before they gave me the money for the item, and they said, "We're not going to take the money out for the label until we give you the money for the item." I was like, "Okay." But every single time they did it, it was like 10, 11, 12 times in a row. And finally, I got this. I wasn't getting my money at all. They were just hitting me for fees for shipping. We weren't releasing the money. So I got eBay on the phone, and they told me it was PayPal's problem. I got PayPal on the phone. They told me it was eBay's problem. And then it was the first time I ever did this. I did a 3-way call, and I said, "You two argue about whose problem it is to fix this."
That's awesome.
Mommy and Daddy, you talk about it.
What did they do?
I was on the phone 3.5 hours at that point with them. And finally, eBay agreed to release my money.
Let it go, let it go.
So how long did they have it?
It was this. I think that was only like 7 days before I finally called and was like, "What the hell?" They were PayPal and eBay were owned by the same people, but treated as separate entities, so they could play these kinds of games. Where eBay has to fix that. PayPal has to fix that. And it was all the shell game of just annoying you to the point where you hung up.
Basically, it's, never mind, and you don't get your money back. Who cares?
The CFO of PayPal said that a big part of their business model was making it difficult to contact them. And they said he said that in an interview. It's like he said the quiet part out loud. Like, but everybody still used PayPal. It didn't make any difference. You know what I mean? At least at the time. And so that was their whole MO, was just making it more difficult. Sorry, totally off track.
No.
Coronavirus. Let's go.
I love tangents. It's all good.
We have in the chat right now, Take the Time Collectibles. That's Brian over at Phil's Comic Shop. You always see me opening up the episode every week with 2 cards. They're business cards. And one of said cards is this card, Phil's Comic Shop. It's located in Broward County. Do visit the shop, bring some cash, help the shop out, make sure it continues, because it is one of the best shops in all of South Florida. Phil's Comic Shop is located in Broward, right off Atlantic Boulevard and 441.
Yeah, what he said.
I want to help the comic industry thrive on. I want to see these shops be propped up by the industry, because God knows it is not going to be the United States government that props up these stores.
Yeah.
You're already having the movie industry, the entertainment industry that shows movies, AMA or AMC, all these different movie theaters. They're asking for money. They're asking for a bailout, just like the auto industry back in 2008. Just like the shipping industry, just like the transportation with airlines and movie theaters. They're asking for it. So if they're asking for it, comic book shops, do you think that they have lobbyists that are willing to go to Capitol Hill to fight for them? No, it's going to be us, the customers, the people that go to these shops. So there's some shops that we've been wanting to divorce because they've had bad business practices. Well, guess what? It is time to reap what you have sown. If there are shops like there's one that I had last year that had some pretty lousy practices, and I know that every shop is going to be hurting. So those shops that you have liked, that you have decided to go to and frequent more than usual, when you have some extra cash, definitely spend it there. I'm going to guess that it'll be those shops that really only carry the new books, the ones that come out every new Comic Wednesday, and barely any back issues, barely any big boy books like you see behind me. And those are the ones that are going to be hurting, because sometimes all it takes is just one sale and you're back in the black. But if all you're selling is new stuff, you're going to be in the red for so long. And a check for $1,000 for a single month, even if you can float your rent for 3 months, it's not going to cut it. So help your shops out if you can. But otherwise, if you can't afford it, stop buying. You have buying opportunities coming up in the very near future. I don't want to say anything bad for those people that are doing the YouTube auctions, the selling on Instagram, but you're going to be seeing some emergency dumping, and very soon.
Oh yeah, very true, very true. Hey, can I totally derail us again one more time?
Go right ahead.
So, I'm not a big user of that key collector app. I'm just not in general. Nothing against it. It's. I know it's been a great tool for a lot of people. But my brother had pinged me last week. Did you guys hear about Loki?
No.
So last
going to be a girl.
Last week there was a rumor that Loki was going to have the Squadron Supreme in it.
Oh, I heard something about that.
So y'all know who the Squadron Supreme are, right?
Yeah, first appeared in Avengers, what was it, 85, 84, 83?
Well,
that's your favorite crew right there.
First appeared in Avengers number 70, unless you count last page reveals, then they appeared in 69. But there's their first appearance in Avengers, but that's not Supreme, that's Sinister. And then Supreme first shows up in 85, but even editorial was confused who it was because they said Sinister. So I'm a big Squadron Supreme guy. I've been collecting all their stuff. Basically, if they show up in it, I get it. I love those characters. If they show up in Loki, I will buy Disney Plus. I have not bought it yet. But if I find out that Squadron Supreme is in a television show, I will absolutely buy whatever is necessary to watch that television show.
If we just got confirmation about the time variance authority joining the ranks of Loki, hey, anything's possible. And it's not like Squadron Supreme is some big high up property that back like 20 years ago on TV, they'd say, well, we're going to be doing a Smallville, so you can't use this character or that character because we have plans. Ain't nobody got plans for the Squadron Supreme at Marvel Cinematic anything.
Nah, man, they could literally.
If they want to add it to Loki, great.
It's a chance to have the Justice League in the Marvel universe and just do anything at all that they want with them. It's putting those characters in their sandbox, and they can literally just cut loose with them. So yeah, I'm sorry. I was really excited about that. I wanted to talk about it.
No, people right now are going to need some excitement, because here's one of these things that I'm going to throw out there, my usual tip of the week. And guess what? It's not even going to be about any comic books. This is the tip of the week, and this is for everybody now. I was watching just prior to going on broadcast. There's a YouTube content creator by the name of Think Media, and he was doing a live video on 3 things to do in a recession to help better yourself. Because right now, you could be scrolling through feeds of YouTube, maybe YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You're looking at these feeds, and after a while, you go down a rabbit hole. And after about an hour to 20 hours of the endless scroll, you're going to feel like you wasted a ton of time. So these are 3 things that you can wind up doing right away in these next couple weeks to help make your life a little bit better. Number 1, create over consume. So by that, I mean, if you ever wanted to create a comic book and you have some free time, do it. If you are a content creator for YouTube and you want to make some more videos, whether it's reviewing a new comic book or reviewing an old comic book, if it's on how to make videos, how to use some software, make those videos, produce some content, make things instead of consume. Also, slow down the spending a little bit, because if you're slowing down the spending, even if you're making money, you'll have more money later on for that big boy book. Number 2, refine your gifts. So if you're an artist, a writer, a colorist, work on that, practice it. Even if you're not creating anything for real distribution, because who knows if the distribution chain with Diamond will ever be the same way again. Even Take the Time Collectibles was saying that he doesn't even know if Diamond Warehouse will be able to produce all these packages going out. In fact, it wouldn't surprise him if they stop sooner than later. So yes, refine your gifts. Be a better content producer. Be a better, I don't know, mechanic. Work on your car. Work on something. Watch videos. Learn. And number 3, collaborate. If you are a content producer for YouTube, if you're a writer, an artist, hey, you might not be able to leave the house, but at least you can go out online and start perusing all the people on maybe DeviantArt or some of these other chains on Reddit or Facebook. No, Facebook's a little iffy. Instagram, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and I never want to say Facebook. I hate it so badly. But collaborate. Find people to collaborate. Before I started doing this show, do you think that I really knew who Lady Fantastic was, or Comics on the Mind, or Miracleman? No, these were all people that I just saw out there in the ether. And watching Lady Fantastic's YouTube videos, I saw what a great talent she was, and I did a interview with Rena, who is having her book published within about the next 17 days. Hopefully that goes smoothly. But yes, collaborate, find other people to work with. So again, those 3 tips: create over consume. Number 2, refine your gifts. And number 3, collaborate. This was brought to you by Think Media.
Yeah.
And that was your 2.
Totally agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
I have to roll mounts because I am entitled grandma.
And you actually have a real job with things that people can actually use and benefit.
Yeah.
So out of all of us that are on this panel, I want to say rule number 1, Lady Fantastic. What is it, Comics on the Mind?
Don't die.
Thank you.
I shall
So
do my
real
best.
quick, just to sign y'all out first, how about we go ahead and say, is there anything coming up on your YouTube channel? Anything going on with you whatsoever? Go ahead and promote yourself.
I don't know. If
Like the rest of us.
if I do, I'll make a video and post something on Instagram, blah, like this voice.
I would definitely tune in for that voice.
Thank you.
And for those people that just listen to the show instead of watch it, Lady Fantastic is on Instagram as Caro_Syrup84. Watch out for her comic YouTubes and her YouTube channel and her comic auctions on Instagram. So, like always, thank you very much for coming, Lady Fantastic. Be safe, be healthy, and I hope you have a great week ahead. And I hope to see you back here again next Wednesday at 10 p.m.
All right.
We
Thanks for
appreciate
having
the
me.
work that
I had
you
a
do.
good time.
Have a good night, Lady Fantastic. And just to
Have a
remind
great rest.
everybody, I am jumping ahead and throwing this link for you in the chat. Do go ahead and join the discussion. The StreamYard link is right there. I have dropped it in the comments. So feel free to join the show. Tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods. Just let us know where you are and what you've been seeing over this last week, because this is the comic community. This is how we find out information. We don't know everything. we don't know anything until you tell us. So that's why we're talking with each other. And back to the panel.
Great point. I mean, we all learn from each other. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most of my knowledge, when I come to, I've been doing comics for a really long time, so I've learned a lot of stuff, and I research a lot, and I read weird stuff to find out about other stuff. But some of the best stuff I've ever found out about has been somebody else cueing me in on it, like that whole buried alien thing. I didn't read Marvel of that era. Somebody had to cue me into that.
Blew my mind.
I just remembered seeing it, reading about it, but until you showed us those pages, I've never seen them myself either.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know that that Superman picked up Thor's hammer,
Oh, yeah, dude.
There's a lot of, like weird, cool knowledge out there in the comic book world.
Legit, though, if you want to pick up an easy-to-come-by series that's just... I mean, this is a Jim Lee cover on this Quasar right here. It's got great creatives on it. It's good. It's just such a fun freaking story, man. Super cheap to find. As like I said, Squadron Supreme is like all throughout it.
Yeah.
And I had no clue at the time. I learned about Squadron Supreme being involved with Quasar much later after this series was over, and had to go back and find it.
Yeah.
I'm still putting it together. I still think I need a couple dozen issues. But easy to find, usually really cheap. Pull it out of the 50-cent bins all the time.
Nice.
Yep.
Another Jim Lee Marvel book that I didn't know he was drawing. So
I don't think he did it regularly. This is one of his covers. But there's a whole bunch of different covers. Like there's that Magnola one I had, and then there's a I don't even know who this is. Manley. You know who that is? Mackie.
Sure. Hey, Mackie.
Hey, Mackie. Right. Anyway,
a great name. Hey, get over here, Mackie.
It's a good series. It's a good series, and like I said, you should be able to find it really cheap, man. I don't think I spent more than $1 on a single issue. So,
wait, yeah. Definitely gonna pick it up if I see it in the dollar bin.
Another one of that era for the DC version of this, Starman. There's this Starman that is the James Robinson run. That's one of the greatest, hands down, DC series of all times. It cuts so deep into DC lore. I mean, it was literally written for fanboys and done incredibly well.
Yeah.
But before that, there was another Starman series, which was done by Roger Stern. And it's the same kind of thing as Quasar. I think like it wasn't doing really great, and they were probably going to cancel it. And then he kind of just cuts loose. And by the end, he's like fighting Eclipso, which is basically like the god of darkness. I mean, it's a fun series that really opens up near the end. And again, same thing. You can find it for like literally next to nothing. If you pay $1 for the first issue, I'd be shocked.
Is there really any issue of Quasar that's worth more than $1? I mean, I remember there's that one cover that looks like Vanity Fair where he's kind of pregnant, but other than that,
I was just thinking of that issue. I was going to bring it up. That's the most bizarre issue that I own because I'm like, this dude's pregnant. Like, this is interesting.
Right.
He's been alien pregnant. Well, he is an alien technically, right?
Quasar.
Is he from Earth?
Yeah, he's Wendell Vaughn. He's from Earth. He just gets these super powerful bands.
Right. Comes a
he was Marvel Boy first, and then he thought of as a bad guy as Guardian in Fantastic Four 165, 166. And then he's back over in, which was the one where he's Quasar? Hulk 271?
That sounds about right. It's in that vicinity either way.
Yeah.
You know,
we have
there's
somebody that's joining us backstage right now. He
what?
is also from Miami. He has been in the chat room. He has been watching YouTube auctions, much to the detriment of his wife, until 4 a.m. I'd like to introduce everybody, somebody that I brought into the fold. His name is Ricardo Rodriguez Bacas.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, man, how you doing?
We actually get to meet you now. We talk to you all the time in the chat.
Thanks. This is my first appearance, so let me.
This is your first YouTube show that you've been on, period, right?
Well, show, yeah. I used to do comedy YouTube videos. I actually met my wife through YouTube, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
Because I used to do comedy videos like 10, 12 years ago, before YouTube was even bought up by Google. And I used to do comedy videos. She was a journalist. They saw me in the newsroom. They started seeing my videos, and then we met up, and then that's it. But yes, this is my first show, but I used to do my own skits and movies.
That's cool.
And how did you learn about the YouTube community when it came to comic books?
So Rob is the one that got me back into the comic world. He was doing a deposition. Is there a delay? I'm sorry, because I'm learning on this.
A delay of about 15 to 30 seconds between the YouTube stream and what you're hearing from us. That's why whenever we're doing one of these shows, and sometimes some of us will have our phone off to the side and the computer on, but sometimes people will leave up a YouTube window open. So you'll start hearing some weird echo going, that's strange. It sounds like I hear myself.
Yeah, that's
15 or 30 seconds ago.
Same thing.
Yeah, his first appearance learning. But that's great. So going back to how I met Rob. Rob came and he did a deposition, and then we started talking about comics and how I like to make my own comic, personalities and skits through my YouTube videos that I gotta get back into doing. But I used to collect a long time ago. I was more of a player, Star Wars CCG, Star Wars customizable card games. I don't know if you remember those.
All right.
Yeah, but I used to collect comics too. But now I started to get back into it very intensely. Last year, I started hitting up the dollar bins and collecting a bunch of. I'll show you guys in another show, and maybe.
It always starts small, but then you showed me just the other week. You came over before this whole coronavirus blew up. And what book did you show me?
So I have it. I'll get you. So I'll show you. I'll show you now if you have time. I mean, so I started focusing because we've had many shows about this, or a couple, and I think one of them is if you're new into comic books, what type of comics or collector are you? There's no way I can catch up to what all you guys have, or it's hard to restart a collection. So I started focusing on different things. I started collecting, simple first appearances are number ones, and then I started focusing on a niche. So what niche could I focus on? I started saying, you know what, I'm gonna start focusing on lawyers in comics. So so I started specializing. So what can I do? I started picking a niche. And I started picking lawyers or legal stuff in comics. I'll show you some. So that's my main thing. There you go, Daredevil.
There you go, right down here.
But then I also have my random things. But it's hard with the ADD and all this that you start collecting and going to different routes. But I gotta focus on I gotta focus on the lawyers. But sometimes I'll go crazy. And for example, I like absurd characters. This is the first appearance of Mop Man.
That is a real character you can look at on the Key Collector comic app.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I like to see what can I offer. I ask myself, what can I offer to black belts in comics like you guys? What can I offer? Well, I'll pick a niche, a specialty. So lawyers and absurd characters like that, like Mop Man.
Absurd characters, man. You are a man after my own heart. I love absurd characters.
So let me get up one
You
second,
see
and
half
now,
the issues Miracleman has.
yeah.
A
So
lot of Charlton stuff and a lot of indie stuff. Very exciting.
let me actually just get up there. Have just some, and I'll show you some of my my new.
You go ahead and grab that,
Yeah.
and it looks like Miracleman just set out some
Exactly.
books, so we'll zoom in on Miracleman while you go and grab that.
Yeah.
What
So
do you have, Miracleman?
So this is the Maze Agency. I showed the first issue off a little while ago. This is a Komiko, and yes, it is Komiko. Bill Anderson directly, and he confirmed. It's Komiko. This is a Komiko series that was written by Mike W. Barr and has art by Adam Hughes. Now, this isn't Adam's first work, but it's his first, I believe, creator-owned ongoing series. And you can see it's earlier in his career. It's not quite what you'll see from him today, but still has a great ability to draw very beautiful women. And clearly beautiful women are the focal point, even when they're dead, of his covers. But if you are an Adam Hughes fan, you know, his stuff is heating up right now. If you are an Adam Hughes fan, these are not expensive books to put your hands on. It's actually a really good story. It's a detective agency story, so it's not your traditional, you know, capes and tights, but still good story. Exactly. How can you beat that? So, if you like Adam Hughes, take a look. See if you find yourself any Maze Agency in your dollar bins and your quarter bins and your 50-cent bins, wherever you buy your cheap comics. Komiko is not a publisher that anybody is chasing down. So comic shops just dump these into the cheap bins all the time.
Yeah, and while most people are looking for those Catwoman issues with Adam Hughes, especially that one where she's in prison and holding the sign, if you want to get some cheaper copies, this is what you should be getting right over here.
Oh yeah, inexpensive, and it's still great Adam Hughes covers. I don't have any of them yet, but for that exact same reason, I am hunting down some Komiko Johnny Quest, because Dave Stevens did a couple of the covers, and by and large, really cheap to put your hands on those books.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the interiors don't match the exteriors, but that's another story.
Like so many books. And speaking of books that might not quite match on the inside as the outside, because I don't know if this was an issue that Vince Coletta worked on, but do you have the book ready, Ricky?
Yeah, I have some books, some interesting books from lawyer characters.
We're going to zoom in on you then.
So obviously, we're going to start with my first lawyer book, which we, I think it was the first one or second one. But we obviously know one of the most famous ones, but I'm not going to show you a bunch of Daredevil books, but I'm going to show you my favorite cover of my favorite Daredevil book, which is Daredevil number 53. In great condition.
Cover.
Right.
And don't you have some of these framed on your wall in your
So
office?
that's another thing. So I wanted to be a fun lawyer, so I have half my wall is very serious with my degrees and all that. And then if you look at the other side, once I have a bunch of characters there. I have Two Gun Kid. Two Gun Kid is a lawyer. I have Cecile Horton, which is the Flash's attorney. I have Gabriel Heller, which was the Magneto's attorney. So I have a bunch. I'm getting into all these interesting characters, to help learn about the niche. Obviously, we all know about Daredevil and all that, but here's some other ones that you all know. You all probably know they are attorneys, but if you don't, well, I'm helping educate in the little niche I'm getting into.
Educate us.
Yeah, we know he's an attorney.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this version. Let me show you. Oh, let me show you my second comic book, Robin from Earth 2, which is
Yeah.
Grayson. Mr. Grayson is. Look at this awesome book.
Love
That's
that.
a great cover.
This is an awesome.
He is just kicking butt right now.
Yeah.
Great issue, man.
So I don't want these at the office. I actually went in because of the coronavirus and self-isolation. Went in and got my computer the other day. I'm at the house, obviously. I'm not going to the office. There's a lot of medical people there and all that. So, but I feel bad for the comics on the wall, but I had to pick, pick which ones I keep. But this one's not gonna go in the office. This is an awesome one.
All Star 58 has
Okay.
The first adult Earth 2 Robin costume. You have that funky Batman Robin
Yep.
amalgamation there, but in All Star 50, I think it's 50. It's either 58 or 56, whichever is the relaunch of the title, the first Bronze Age issue, first Power Girl. Has him in his adult costume, and you actually see him doing some lawyering.
Oh, nice, nice.
So just to let you know, I mean, it's something you might be interested.
Now, gotta control the comic. I call it the worstest virus because this year I've hit. I tell Rob that the worstest virus is when I started, spending on comics. 2019 was the dollar bin. Another day I'll show you those. They're just funky books. But so I'm focusing on lawyers, but I'm also focusing on legal issues. This cover's awesome. Obviously, the Hulk is not a lawyer, but look at that. Look how awesome that is.
That's awesome.
The world is my jury.
What issue is that?
This is 153.
153. That's a great cover, man. The black is sharp.
I've gotten really lucky with my books.
Where did you find that one?
This one I got online, actually. Yep, I got this one online.
Some greater notes on the back.
Yeah. How about this is Teen Titans number 48.
Great
Joker's
issue.
daughter.
Look at
The
that.
original Joker's daughter.
Yep.
Oh, did he freeze?
And now I tell Rob that this guy is one of the most badass jerks if he was a prosecutor, or you know who? The accuser.
Ricky,
How
I'm
about
going to
this?
knock you out of the chat and bring you back in because it looks like your camera froze.
Rob actually, and we went we did an analysis of what we would rate this.
Ricky, try
Ronan the
real
Accuser.
quick going to leave studio and re-enter it because it looks like your camera sort of froze. And the camera just shut off.
No.
Right in the middle of it, right when things are getting good, because
I know, right?
he finds things kind of like how Miracleman does, and it's these interesting books that I would never think of picking up. Things like that, the Harlequin issue of Teen Titans, like Mopman from the Marvel Tales issues. But one of the things that he wound up picking up was something that I almost got today. Problem was it was $60, and I'm going, well, that's $60 I could probably use for better things like, eating.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Let's go ahead and join him back. There he is.
We were. I've been chasing this book. And and this is just. Look at that.
My boy Ben Graham.
Very nice.
This is amazing. But this book, if we're gonna go with Ronan, the public accuser, that's his title, right? We want to go with the first appearance of the Accuser Corps,
Aha.
right?
Nice.
Galactic Storm.
So we have Ronan, Fantastic 465, and then the first appearance of the Accuser Corps right here.
Beautiful.
So you see, this is a little area of comics I can start getting into, and here's another cool cover of Two-Face.
Oh man.
Isn't that one of the ones you have in your office usually?
No, this one I don't. I have another one.
That's great.
This is another. Look at this, is an awesome one. The legal theme. This is not. This is just. Look. The Trial of the Falcon.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I've got that.
Dun, 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 la, 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 la.
These are not Lord. These are just. And then I'll just. So this is actually a random interesting, not very known character. Her name is Evangeline Whedon. She turns into a dragon when blood spills on her, and she's actually a lawyer. Have you guys
never heard
Extreme
of
X-Men?
That's
Extreme X-Men 21. She's actually an attorney that turns into a red dragon when blood gets on her.
Doesn't that happen to all attorneys? I thought that was blood gets on you, you turn
I
into
see
a
red.
So let's see. So now I'm gonna quiz you black belts, 10th degree black belt. Whose first appearance here is in here? This is Adrian Chase. And then you gotta get them together. And I want to thank Rob for this because Rob personally gave me this. So this is a little match. Adrian Chase and Vigilante.
You know whose first appearance is in that new Teen Titans annual, though?
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you read that yet, Ricky?
Yeah, I've read all of them. Everything I'm holding in my hand, I've read.
So Rob showed me that book when he got it for you, and I had said, how about those villains in that book?
And I was like, wait, what villains?
There's some.
It was an intense battle.
It is
Very intense.
There is a villain in that book that is from an African nation, and I believe his name is Spear.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You made the face I did when I first saw Comics on the Mind.
Hold on.
Literally, I heard Dave Chappelle go, "Now that's racist." It was.
I hear
Well, remember back comics.
It was not, it wasn't like the '60s.
I know. I'm already knowing because I've read some stuff and it's made my skin cringe.
Yeah, well,
like this is not dated at all.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a long. It was nice. I enjoyed it, and
Good story.
I actually enjoyed the story. It was really entertaining, and I enjoy these. This was a pretty good read. Here's another. I'll put that back.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a shiny cover.
Yeah. Believe first character that's HIV positive. I believe I got to research that.
Oh, wow.
That was an attorney HIV positive. Yeah. Here's another Manhunter. She's also
right.
She's also an attorney. And then, believe it or not, so I don't know if I got to save up money because we're in the crisis of the economic tsunami's coming. And I know many of you have overrated the first appearance of Cable, but I have Cable who actually apparently went to Harvard Law School. So Cable apparently is a lawyer, but doesn't practice law.
Do you think it's the giant metal arm that keeps him out? Do you think people they're like, I can't hire a giant metal arm attorney at law. Like, I can't do that.
You look a little too dangerous for this company.
Yeah. We also have Take the Time Collectibles, Brian from Phil's Comic Shop. He's saying, Ricky, check out 2013's Punisher, Trial of the Punisher, issue 1 and 2 of 2.
Yeah, I like to cover. Yeah, that would be great to collect those. I also have one of the Trial of the Flash. Those are really nice covers. The Trial of the Flash. I'm sure you guys know about that. That's that little run. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know. There was apparently this one's absurd, so it might be Miracleman's Alley. This guy's not an attorney, but Howard the Human. There's a blind.
Oh, yeah. I got that one.
So there's a playoff of Daredevil, and there's a blind rat.
It's Howard the Duck, but as a human in an anthropomorphic world.
Wow, that is hilarious.
And this is the attorney who's a playoff of Daredevil, but he's a blind rat, and he's
Dude, that book's a riot, man. If you find it, grab it.
Fun. Howard the Human. So technically, I guess there's a. So that's one of the. But I saved one. Obviously we forgot one of the most famous ones. Rob saw this in person. Here we go.
There it is.
I want that book.
The worstest virus right here.
That's a good book, man.
Yeah, my wife is looking at me, telling me to keep the volume down. But she needs to know that I bought this with my mom's gift money for my birthday. That I turned 40 on February. So this is not matrimony money. This is gift money. But going back to Cable, I don't know if I should invest on the first appearance of Cable or not.
I'm happy. I had the second print. And I'm happy with that. So
yeah, but this is my first slab book. But I don't know if I'll go for Cable. Well, actually, that's another debate. Do I get? I need baby Cable, Mr. the Nathan boy. Should I get baby Nathan or should I get
Ooh.
I gotta get both of them.
Right?
So which is his first appearance? But
it's an uncanny. I think it's the first time you see baby Cable.
201, yeah, uncanny 201. I think 201.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm just controlling the worstest virus since business is slow and the whole world is collapsing.
Right,
and Chris Barrett is saying, don't invest in Cable right now.
No. I'm gonna put everything on hold. Yeah.
Wait 2 months.
Yeah,
You'll be able to buy out somebody's entire collection for pennies on the dollar because they're going to need it to fund.
Yeah. Life. So that's my little. I have when I figure out how to put pictures in the chat room, I'll show you my wall. But Two Gun Kid is pretty good. If you like that stuff,
you do share screen, and then you select any of the panels that are open on your desktop. Usually from Google Chrome, and if you have it in one of the Chrome windows,
you
can flip that window, and it's a process. I'll talk you through it another time.
Maybe so that's it. I'm gonna maybe try to email myself, but I don't know how much more time we got.
Well,
but
I wanted to wrap things up.
Okay,
under 2 hours.
Perfect.
We're coming up on midnight, so again, those who have been with us. We have still with us Chris Barrett, the Mastodon. YouTube is 90 MF Comics. We have Take Time Collectibles, Brian from Phil's Comic Shop. Again, those that are watching this on the replay, if you are in Florida and it is no longer Corona season, or if it is, do call ahead. And this gives me another tip of the day. And that tip is, it's one of these breaking news sort of things. Thank you for a little bit of levity, because what I was saying that isn't very easy to say. Even Kurt's got one. We all got one. Breaking news, the local comic shop might be closed for up to a month or more, or perhaps permanently. So before you go and venture out, especially if you're in any of these cities in the United States or overseas or anywhere around the world that's under lockdown, don't be like me. I was asinine going out today in the middle of a damn pandemic just so I could pick up some comic books. Italy just put out a video earlier today that shows people that are quarantined, and they're saying, if you could tell yourself 10 days ago one thing, what would it be? And it's a cobbled together video of all these people secluded in their rooms going, I didn't take this seriously. I wish you would have taken this more seriously. So that's what I'm leaving off to everybody. This is the tip of the week. take this more seriously, because if you wait another month, 2 months, and if you have a job, you'll be able to get those books cheaper, or you'll be able to afford that big boy book that you've always wanted. So closing out for the show, how about we go around the room and have everybody promote yourself? And considering that Ricky, it's his first time being with us on the show today, how about we go ahead and say, Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez Vacas, promote yourself, your Instagram, your Twitter, your YouTube. What's going on in the world of Ricky?
No!
It's gone. Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
There he is.
The world of Ricky is a homeschool teacher now with my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old in quarantine here in Miami. So hopefully I'll start doing some fun YouTube videos again and just getting into, whatever. So, but it's just, I don't know. It's nice to be here. Thank you for letting me be here. And we'll continue to keep in touch, hopefully.
Definitely.
Blessings to all of you.
If people wanted to find you on Instagram, what's your Instagram?
Well, Instagram has absurd pictures of myself. It's my 2 last names because everybody in the world is Rodriguez. So I added my mom's last name together to distinguish myself. So it's Rodriguez Vacas with a V, V-A-C-A-S. So it's RODRIGUEZ VACAS. So you'll see my absurd costumes and I dress up and just over the top, crazy, insane things. Hopefully it doesn't get me in trouble with the bar.
His YouTube has some interesting videos. Do check those out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here, Ricky, tonight. And next up, Mind Shift. He is Mind Shift on Instagram. But he's on YouTube as Comics on the Mind. Comics on the Mind, why don't you go ahead and promote yourself?
What do I got going on? Besides busy work that both my jobs gave me to do at work at home, I'm definitely going to be catching up on a lot of reading. I'm behind on reading, so I have like stacks on stacks on stacks. I'm reaching for stacks right now. Here's a stack. There's another stack right here. So I'll be catching up on reading. I said last week I was going to be on Hobby Show, but it's going to be this week. I'm going to be on the Conquistadors Oprah Book Club. I'm going to be doing that this Thursday. And I believe that's at 7 Eastern time. That's 7 my time, 10 Eastern time. So I'll be doing that. And then I have all this extra time, so I'm definitely going to be taking your advice and trying to create something and put it out there, because I have a couple ideas in mind that I've wanted to work on for a minute, and now I have extra time to do it. So I'm going to be working on those. So stay tuned for that. But besides that, I'm just, I'll be in the chats, talking to you guys or reading some cool books.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing those videos, any content that people are producing over the next week, over the next month. Looking forward to seeing that, because now's the time for all you people out there to get more creative. Take more of a stance in the community. Join us. One of us. One of us. You're all one of us.
One of us. One of us.
That's not creepy.
So lastly, we have, I'll do mine after, but we have Miracleman. Why don't you go ahead and promote yourself?
I don't have a whole lot to promote about myself right now. I'm just going to say, everybody stay safe, make good, rational choices. Let's not fuel the pandemic of the mind, which is people running out and losing it and buying crazy stuff and hoarding 177,000 bottles of hand sanitizer and then getting mad when Amazon says no, you can't charge $80 for that $1 bottle. Let's not do that. Let's stay safe though. Let's stay healthy. Let's keep our eyes out for good comic deals. It's sad to say, but it definitely will be a buyer's market in the comic back issues coming up real soon. You're going to see eBay going crazy. You're going to be seeing a lot more YouTube auctions. I guarantee that. Other than that, if you can, support your local comic shop, guys. Whatever you can do, if you can pay them over the phone.
I would agree with all of that.
Anything like that, get out there and do that, guys. That's important. They need that support from us right now, probably more than they've needed in the last few years. So,
And just as Brian at Take the Time Collectible says, be safe, everyone. Take advantage of the forced downtime and read some more comic books. Even Comics on the Mind, as he's choking to death. Don't die! Rule number 1, man. Rule number 1. We're all secluded. We can't get over there to give you the Heimlich. And Chris Barrett saying, tell him to stop price gouging, but hey, do what you want, but at least we all know who you are, and if you are on the internet, you are easier to get caught. So don't screw around and get caught, because what was Al Bundy saying? It's not cheating unless you get caught. That's how people go to jail, by telling people things. So don't tell people if you have an amazing fantasy number 15 in your home, and that's actually another tip of the week. So if you have some expensive books, don't go around telling everybody on YouTube that you have them and say, this is also where I live. Because the second that you post, hey, guess what? I went out of town today. Hey, nobody's home. Let's go raise issues, all the back issues. Hey, look at the collection I have. And that's going to be Ricky Ricardo next week going, hey, guys, I got a new collection. And no, it'll just be because he murdered me because I live close to him. So as always, thank you so very much, everybody, for tuning in. This is the Not Near Mint crew, along with Lady Fantastic, who is hopefully watching the very tail end in bed as she's going to sleep. She is not a granny. She is one of the most valued members of the community. I thank her so much for being a part of this show, as I do Miracleman, as I do Comics on the Mind. And thank you so very much, Ricky Ricardo, for coming on this show for the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last. So everybody out there, do smash that like, because I did notice 2 people did not, but that's up to them. Thank you for the view. Do sub each other up in the chat. That's how we gain more community. And also, do remember to subscribe to us. I am Rob Wurst on YouTube. This is a show called Not Near Mint. It's a show about comic books. We will be back next week. Let's see if I can find that little banner here. And yeah, thank you. We will be back next week. My name is Rob Wurst. Remember, wash your hands. Maintain some social distancing. I know it feels like something that you've been hit over the head with like a damn hammer, but it's true, especially if we come back next week and we don't know what next week's going to look like. Thank you so much. Be safe, be clean, be hygienic, and save up. You might be able to buy that big boy book a lot sooner than you thought. Have a good night. See you next week.